Too much has been said. Think about it. All this film has, which we don't, is extras. And it's one of the absolute greatest films of all time. They had a cemetery to play around in, they had a house to shoot in and experiment with dramatic lighting within, and most importantly of all, probably they had a film director who had this fantastic intuition for visual storytelling, the likes of which remind me of the praises I've been singing for Monty Hellman recently. I can't fathom how influential this film has been. The zombie craze begins here, and that's something which was beyond dominant throughout the 2010s, for example. Between The Walking Dead and every other video game featuring zombies, and then, all these memes of people dressing up as zombies, Plants vs. Zombies, it was nuts. And it's all because of this absolutely genius independent film from 1968. Roger Corman never made anything this good, and I'm kind of surprised because Roger Corman's not a hat. Roger Corman is a genius, and Roger Corman has more great films to his name than George Romero has in. And George Romero, considering the amount of money he was gifted, that's kind of disappointing. I mean, Romero's films bombed a lot, sadly. Well, after Day of the Dead onwards, I mean. I love Day of the Dead. I love Day of the Dead. I do. But whenever I hear someone say, "Oh, Day of the Dead's my favorite of the trilogy," I'm just like, "That's it. You don't understand. You just pissing on the art of filmmaking. And I hate you for it." Dawn of the Dead. I understand Dawn of the Dead being one's favorite of the three. I might even go so far as to say that Dawn of the Dead, even though I'm lavishing praise on Night here, Dawn might still be my favorite because I like the music so much. But yeah, if you Dave, I love Day of the Dead, but if Day of the Dead is your favorite of the three, just don't make any claims to have a coherent, respect for the art of filmmaking. Just don't. It's not necessary to enjoy film, so but just leave me alone. In all seriousness, this film manages to be more atmospheric than most horror films ever made, and I mean, this isn't. There's thousands of more expensive horror films than this. What's going wrong? Tom Savini remade this film for a laugh, presumably, and it's not bad by any means, but I mean, it has none of the affect of the original. He tries to modernize it. He has a lot of more animated performances. There's color. There's gore. But like, what's the imagination on display? It's like, oh, here's how far film has come. It's like, okay, but it's none of the fascinating, innovative horror composition, horror fiction composition, which Night of the Living Dead was just a complete master of, without any previous precedents to fall back on. There may be a few you can name, but not very many. So part of why Night of the Living Dead is effective is its simplicity, its sterility, and its what we might call a black and white expressionistic aesthetic. Those are key. Those are very key, and this film probably wouldn't work in the same degree in color. I mean, I love color photography, but I mean, it's like saying The Night of the Hunter would have worked better in color. It's just you just don't say things like that. Well, Psycho would have worked better in color. There are some films which it was clearly stylistically superior, and so I think the point of remaking this film is kind of moot. No offense to Tom Savini, it's better than that horrid that Zack Snyder thing, which is just a 28 Days Later knockoff. Gimmick, as far as its gimmick went. And there's apparently a direct-to-DVD Day of the Dead remake, which I've read is beyond atrocious. I don't doubt that. Nevertheless, The Night of the Living Dead from 1968, directed by George A. Romero, remains one of... Look, I'm more convinced than ever after just seeing it again now that it's one of the absolute greatest films of all time. For no other reason than it's a monumental achievement of filmmaking imagination. Bare bones budget, cast, bit of makeup, a house to work in, few lights, and just a creative audacity.